How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lo4f, and today I'm going to go and do this mission called, Environmental Disaster. It's a bit of a simple one, and yeah, fancied taking out the Azov 4220 Antarctic for this one, and a goddamn horse, of course. Yeah, I've got to go over to, Antonovsky Nature Reserve, and then I've got to grab a fuel trailer from there and just take it up to the sawmill in the corner, so nothing too crazy, but yeah, I just kind of figured it was a pretty good chance. I'll draw a blue line on that map. It obviously won't let me until I get there. Yeah, I just kind of figured I wanted to see what this was like, because I suppose to a degree the Azov and the Cat 745C, they're kind of similar. They're both, I believe, got like 71-inch tyres or something. And I just kind of wanted to see, because I've been saying about you kind of feel like you wheel spin a lot and all the rest of it. I just, yeah, I was curious to see how this would do. And obviously I got the choice between this and the Cat 745C, and yeah, the Cat would be better at not tipping than this, but this is just more useful. You know, I've got a sideboard, for example, and stuff, whereas, yeah, the Cat is just too limited at the minute. And this can have trailers. Like, one thing I was going to take on the map tonight, just for the, like, getting round to driving around in it, was the, what's it called, the Tatran, but what I wasn't sure is this fuel trailer I've got to grab. If I have to physically have that connected to my vehicle to deliver it, then yeah, obviously it won't let me in the Tatran. So yeah, that's sort of like when I was scrolling through, I thought, well, I could take the Phoenix or the Force again and that, but I've been messing around with them for the last 2 days, or a few days rather, or more really. And I will obviously be using them a hell of a lot, but yeah, I just kind of figured, sod it, I'll take this thing out. It's a goddamn horse, there's one I made earlier. Yeah, driving along here, honestly, like, this section feels, I don't know, it's like moon gravity physics. I always feel like you sway around and sink a lot more. There's definitely, like, it's a bit of a trap going on down here. Not necessarily saying I hate it, but look, it's like, you really can't. Good job the goddamn horse knows how to jump out. Shifts that weight and we're away. Safe. I don't think we're leaving the goddamn professional just there. But yeah, it's very, yeah, clearly purposely done, where, like I say, in some ways it's at least potentially a step in the right direction for difficulty. Like, you get one side that you just completely sink in, the other side's pretty solid ground, so yeah, it tries to tip you, which it's not the end of the world. It might get a little bit old, you know, fairly quickly, but whatever. It's a little bit of a course to try and dodge. I could have just took the easy way out, quit and reloaded, got my loaf back in there. Well, that's of it. I'll just tow it behind me. Overall as well, once I actually put low range for the diffs on, this thing, that's what I was kind of curious to see how it'll do in some of these muddy parts, because, say, more the Cat 745C to be honest, but I'd quite happily use that, as I said before, like a river, Black River crossing, sort of little ferry thing that can just yank practically everything across the river regardless. Yeah, so they tend to kind of grip well, as I said as well when I scouted White Valley with the Cat 745C. I didn't really stick solely to roads, I just kind of pointed it at the next watchtower, and other than weaving around trees, I just kind of went anywhere I like on the map, and it was slow, but it could handle it. So yeah, I wanted to see if this thing, as far as the articulation goes, it didn't feel terrible. I started paying attention to the articulation of it. You'll see when I get the fuel thing, like, you know, it still could do with being made stronger, but it didn't feel terrible to the point where it made me notice it early, is probably like the best way of saying it. I just kind of, when I remembered to pay attention, that, oh yeah, it's articulated steering. I certainly think in real life it's obviously better than this. Like, it's, for some reason, it's a little bit weak in this game. See, do you know what? In fact, there's a prime example. I'm turning left the entire time, but you kind of have to be rolling forwards or backwards for it to really kick in. Otherwise, it's just not quite. It's close. It'll move very, very, very slowly, but it's just, yeah, not quite got enough guts to just to be able to sit there on the spot and, like, you know, fully articulate left to right, and just keep going back. Random damage. You don't tend to take, like, unless something's changed, I don't really remember seeing many situations like that where this thing just takes a random whack on nothing. It's funny though, because obviously I like driving the Azov Iceberg, like Fox's mod. Driving this thing does feel vanilla by comparison, but not ruthlessly bad. So yeah, that's the route I'm going to take. But to be fair, actually, does seem probably like the quickest way, really. Again, they're pretty simple missions, but still, I don't mind that in its own right. It's nice to just go for a little lap of the map, like as and when I get to the missions that are going to take me a few hours or whatever. I mean, what was I doing on the the live stream? It's theoretically simple missions because I just really wasn't paying attention to a lot of what I was doing. Soon stretch that out. Yeah, it's definitely what she said. I nearly did as well. I'll pretty certain I'll do the Jeep Wrangler review tomorrow, because all I have again, along with the insomnia, I got sleep yesterday at about 10 AM, just woke up at about 1 PM, completely just not tired at all. And that was it. I just knew instantly, like, oh, you bastard. I know I'm not getting back to sleep. And then it'll hit me later, as usual, which it does. So yeah, I'll get stuck into the review tomorrow. I should hopefully get a bit of sleep tonight because of that. That's what I've got to do. Like, bank up a few days of bad sleep, cash it in for one good night. Or day, really, let's be honest. The sun's coming up now, so I start to hiss. See, that's where, like, I mean, it'd be cool, I'm not going to lie, if they added just diffs permanently on, available for just about every vehicle in the game, I wouldn't say no by now. And I get that, to a degree, that'd change the difficulty levels, blah, 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 but again, they don't, you know, you wouldn't be forced to have diff locks on. It'd be cool if they could, you know, if you could choose between none, engageable, or just permanently on. And yeah, by now, I mean, when you think about it, the game's, what was it, April it came out, so coming in, it's a good year and a half old, the game, so by now, yeah, generally speaking, they're best off just giving us every single freedom imaginable and letting us kind of work out if we even care about that particular thing or not. I was thinking earlier as well, I assume with the next phase of maps we're going to get, they're probably going to go back to snowy maps. Which, to be fair, there's not, like, there's a few maps in Northport and all that, I don't think so, like a bad snowy map and all that, so it's doable, but I definitely do hope, and I kind of feel like, along with most, if not all other people, that, yeah, they don't just make it a Mandra 2.0 again and just, it's death snow everywhere and you go 2 miles an hour. Like, there's certain element, I mean, Amandra, in and of itself, I quite liked the Amandra map. It was by the time I'd completed everything, I just got completely bored with it, because again, made to go so slow, but it had some cool stuff, like the little cliff edges and all that. I quite like trying to drive along all that sort of stuff. So you can sort of see a little bit though, it just sort of almost feels, yeah, everything's had like a little knockback. Not to a crazy degree, everything just feels a little bit, it's in no rush to apply the revs. So that's one thing I do like about articulation though, is when you go in like around a tight corner like this, even if I was towing something longer than the loaf and all the rest of it, the way it makes everything follow you round the corner is quite nice. It doesn't cut corners anywhere near as bad. Like, doing a double articulated road train is actually quite easy to go snaking around all over the place, and this being a bit of a awkward map, I still quite like the maps, to be honest. I do actually think it's, I wouldn't say, you know, they've absolutely hit the nail on the head and these are my favourite maps or anything like that, but they're not bad, and they probably do work better, to be honest, because they're a small map. I do think if it was a massive map it probably would start to drive you mad a bit, but at least if you ever get a bit awkwardly stuck or overly punished in a section, it's, you know, you just kind of open the map on and it's like, well, cool, I'm not that far from my destination, it's not the end of the world. So yeah, overall I've been like still enjoying them. I'm assuming I'm going to be like flying through these missions pretty quickly, if you know what I mean, because I might have a few missions that I've still got to collect on each map. Not many, I would have thought, though, but maybe the odd one or two. Beyond that, yeah, the contracts, there's not, you know, it's not like they give us 40 new contracts or something. I never looked, but no one else has mentioned it, so I assume they didn't add any contracts to, like, any of the base maps or anything like that we got. I will check that at some point. I'll check it, like, tomorrow or something next time, but yeah, the fact that no one's mentioned that, I'd be pretty confident in saying they've not added anything new to them. But strictly speaking, I wouldn't be in any rush to, you know, go straight back to like all the other maps now. It'd be nice maybe to try the, what do you call it, the Phoenix and the Force just on a normal map. But yeah, when I was doing the review videos, I've got to say they both feel pretty decent. I'd still easily prefer the Phoenix, but I don't dislike that Force. And when, again, a few people mentioned it in the live stream to use the multi-purpose. Other than the fact I don't like that I've lost high gear, like the multi-purpose actually, I think overall I agree with them that it felt like it made the Force sort of, you know, kick in the power a little bit quicker. But again, like, I could also manually do that with a high gear. If they added a high gear to multi-purpose, that would be my new favourite gearbox, I reckon. So you'll see now when I try and articulate, I was doing this on purpose, so I'll stop now and now I'm trying to turn right. That's as fast as I can go, and when I let the handbrake off, it only sort of works very slowly because now the wheels can move a bit. But yeah, that's the thing, it should be strong enough just to be able to handle turning left to right, even if it's just sat there. It's funny though, yeah, because when I grabbed this bloody trailer, I remember ages ago why I don't really like these trailers, other than the fact they're quite harshly weighted as far as the fuel weight and everything goes. They can tip quite easily. I remember I took one of these to originally rescue the Taiga, and this, just having one of these trailers nearly screwed me versus say having a maintenance trailer that just for whatever reason, it's the same amount of fuel I believe in them, 2,000 litres and stuff, but there's just no weight to the maintenance trailer that would try and take me with it. The other thing I really don't like, was why I just edited a bit out there and stuff, this trailer, the fuel trailer thing, for some reason it doesn't have winch points at the back of it. I don't know why. I still don't know if that's intentional. I'm pretty certain that's been like that since the start of the game. I don't think that was anything they broke, say, you know, phase 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. I'm pretty sure that was just like that from the beginning, but I don't know. I don't really see why. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if it was a bug from the beginning that they just still haven't got round to fixing. Like, there's quite a few random things that they haven't really got round to doing. Lo4f, the old bridge inspector job. Not really sure what I'm caught on, but again, because like the winch I've got, or yeah, the winch from the trailer to the Lo4f, it's like it's winching from halfway down the fuel trailer to the Lo4f. I think that was a glitch there, not an edit, but yeah, it's just making like the Lo4f go on awkward angles because it's like there's a much longer winch length than I can really help. Preferably, I'd like to get him back in the old sideboard, but I had one quick go at doing it. It just, yeah, in the end I was like, sod it, I can't even be bothered sitting here, I'll just tow him behind me. Wanted to try and grab him, give him a toot, sod it, I'm off. As usual, the game's still prioritising some random tree over a vehicle, even when you're looking at the vehicle, but like I said, we're nearly here now. That is the handy thing about having a small map, even if you're like quarter of a map away, yeah, you're only like 20 truck lengths away or something. There's a little bit of a shortcut. I could have gone the long way, just sticking to the road. I believe this is where, what was it? What's it called? Like the van repair trailer thing was sat in this swampy section that I kind of borrowed to fix the Phoenix. There was a mission actually, I can't remember what it was now off the top of my head to be honest, but I think I have already delivered that trailer by now. And yeah, it's not the end of the world. I'm glad this thing still kept moving through this swampy section, but I do kind of feel like a couple more mile an hour would have felt a bit more natural. This feels like it's a little bit slow for a 71-inch tyres, low range diffs on, all-wheel drive, purpose-built Antarctic explorer machine. But again, I'll take what I can get as long as I'm not getting completely stuck on some bloody tree stump underwater. Funnily enough as well, I've not left it in the video. I can't even be bothered to go back and try and find it now, but I hit, it was a tree stump, but it was like a bunch of roots and that's sticking out the ground, but definitely hittable. Hit it in the loaf, flew straight over it. Popped out the back, didn't get caught on any axles or nothing. That's why he's sending the goddamn horse. I could do really, yeah, I should have put like a... actually, can you get the KRS Bandit crane on this? Again, I was going to say I should have thrown the KRS Bandit crane on this, but I was just thinking that actually, that might be a luxury of Fox's iceberg. Not on this one, might not have it actually, so kind of take that back. Someone abandoned a trailer. Have I been in before? Is that my breadcrumb trails from a previous life? I just realised at this point, like, oh, I don't really know where the hell I'm going, where I was supposed to go, but I'm just going to cut through the trees at this point, because I can see my destination. But that's what I mean, I think this truck did alright. Not amazing, but not terrible. Still just about relevant enough. And that's it, you get a little cutscene now. To be honest, I didn't really see or figure out what happened the first time, I just watched it back a minute ago. So you can see that big red thing collapsed. It's basically in the bottom right of the map. There's like the crashed, yeah, train and everything in the bottom. I'm about to switch to the map, and again, look in the bottom right. It was kind of the southeast corner of that little island where the water looks like a giant P, like the letter P. It's kind of like, yeah, the southeast corner of that. And that's it. Because I've unlocked the sawmill, it opens up this little crafting zone, which I can drop small, medium, large logs there, and I think you need 2 lots of small logs, or you can have 1 medium or 1 large. Off the top of my head, you should be able to see now, because I think I left it in, but ×1 ×2... So I think long logs you're going to get 2, medium 1, and then 2 lots of short logs for 1 plank. So yeah, not as good an exchange rate as there was on Wisconsin. I mean, look at him, goddamn horse, saved today. Anyway, that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed, I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, thanks for my Patreon members. It's Lo4f because he's a goddamn beast, and I'll be back soon.